everybody, welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. I'm Dylan, that is Sal, and that is Dan, and D23 just happened. For those who don't know, D23 is like Disney's big, I wanted to say something that I can't say at the start of the video. It's Disney...
Hullabaloo.
Yeah, big Disney hullabaloo. Where they go out on stage and they get surrounded by people who praise them and wait in line for 10 years. Anyway... The point is, there's a bunch of stuff announced. We're going to talk about the Marvel stuff in this video and the Star Wars stuff in a different one, so go find that if you want it. But yeah, a bunch was announced. Not like announced. A lot of just like updates and like, hey, this is still happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll just go down the list here. We have a list from digitalspy.com.
Perfect.
Kicking off with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. They showed a little bit from it. I think the most interesting thing here, though, is that Letitia Wright was on stage and was allowed to speak. So
they must have just nipped that in the bud. They took care of it.
they were like, probably like, people have forgotten about this whole situation. Let's just put her up there. No one will say anything. And
well, you know, like they handled it. You know, they're like, we scrubbed whatever situation that was so clean. We're gonna bring her out on stage. Give her a microphone. Just let her go. You're fine. You're fine.
They're like, at least you're not Ezra Miller. Like,
right.
That's
exactly.
True.
Yeah. Now, you know that they took care of business if in the next, like, if whatever Warner Brothers' big thing, you know, comes out and Ezra Miller comes out on stage.
rolls out on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be everyone would, like, gasp. The room would go silent.
They're like, oh, no.
They'd be like,
oh, God, what's going to
do something?
Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, we got that. That's cool. Did you guys see any leaked stuff? Because they released some trailers that we didn't get yet. I saw a little bit of the like. It was more like a retrospective on Chadwick Boseman that they did.
Okay.
Like leading up to it, and it was like, oh, that was nice. But yeah, Black Panther 2.
Yeah,
we're getting.
I'm excited, despite like the weirdness of this movie. With you know, there's so much stacked, not against it, but like there's a lot of history with this movie.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of baggage, you might say.
Baggage,
with
sure.
this movie,
yeah.
Right? Because it's like they have a lot to prove. They didn't need to. You know, it was a lot of like voluntary baggage, you know, where it's like, oh, we're only going to stay for the weekend. It's like, no, it's okay. I'm going to need these trunks here. It's like, no. We're not going to recast. We're going to kill them off. We need to shoot it now. Like, these are all three things that you didn't need to do.
No.
And they were like, no, we did now. Okay, do you have a story? No, but we will.
No. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those movies that I don't know what to expect from it.
That's true.
And I feel like it's one of those movies where they're not really going to succeed per se, but more to not fail and to prove, hey, we've still got this aspect of the Marvel universe. We're going to show you that without Chadwick Boseman, we can still keep it alive. We can still allow Wakanda to be a part of everything without that specific Black Panther. But besides that, it doesn't have like the same, at least the same feel so far as the first Black Panther, where it was, this is Black Panther showing you him, the Wakanda, all of that. And this just seems more of a, don't forget about Wakanda. It's still going to be important. We're going to make sure that it's going to be an integral part of the universe still.
Yeah. I know that the first trailer for Black Panther 2 that we saw really raised my expectations. I'm not going to like have unrealistic expectations for this movie, but I certainly was like, well, it looks really well shot. You know, the CG doesn't look egregious immediately at all. It looks like there's a really great tone. At least for the trailer, they picked some really amazing music. Like they did a really good job of being like of kind of quashing any real concerns that I had about it initially. The fact that they didn't do anything besides say it's happened. Like this was D23. It's happening. That was like what they might as well have been like doing for Marvel this year, because it was just like Black Panther 2. Like, yeah, we know. We saw a trailer like a month ago, and they're like, "Yep. Well, here's a star of the movie."
Yeah.
Anything else you want to show us, like a costume or anything? No.
That's no. kind of a weird like casualty of like, because I know that they're protective of things too, spoilers and stuff. And it's, you know, they just did their whole, like, here's the next 10 years of Marvel thing. So there's not a whole lot. There's one thing, we'll get to it. There's one thing that nobody knew anything about.
That's true.
that is coming out. But other than that, I think moving on real quick, spinning out of Black Panther.
Please.
Apparently they showed some stuff from the Ironheart show, which we're not allowed to see.
That's right, they did. Well, because
that's still
apparently, like,
happening.
Ironheart's connected to everything. Like, Ironheart is in Black Panther 2. Ironheart will probably be connected in some way to Rhodey, who is connected to both Secret Invasion and Armor Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's going to be, like, a big, like,
That's a
weird, like,
strange
Black Panther 2,
connection.
Ironheart, Armor Wars, Secret Invasion. Like, those are all part of, like, one. It's like one little mini phase all at the same time. It's like, okay. But yeah, man, I wanted to see something from that. Nope.
I don't care one way or the other about Ironheart, honestly.
I don't even know
think,
what it's supposed to be.
No, and I think that's why, like, this is because Ironheart is such, like, a nothing character in the comics
Completely.
that, like,
Yeah.
Right.
this is their chance to make people like Ironheart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Right. Or at least expose people to an Ironheart that everyone can get behind. You know, like, everybody loves
Yeah.
Miles Morales, but that movie, though, you know, Into
True.
the Spider-Verse made everybody go like, oh, Miles is my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And it's because of that. Ironheart could be that. Now, it's a Disney Plus original, so probably not. But we'll see.
Hey, man, people like Moon Knight who didn't know what Moon Knight was.
That's
So-
true. They
It's
did like
true.
Moon Knight despite, like, seeing it. So that's weird.
Well, the problem, or not the problem, but the trouble that Ironheart's going to have is no matter what, Ironheart is filling the shoes of Iron Man, regardless of what they connect it to in the movie or in the show or anything like that, with simply just the name Ironheart and the fact that in the comics she is basically a young female Iron Man.
Right.
I think that's going to be something that's really going to make it hard for it. So I'm hoping they do it well and that, like, it comes out and people are like, yeah, I can get behind this character. And it's not one of those, hey, they've now made this like a main character in the universe, but none of you like him.
Right.
Just like Captain Marvel, where majority of people are like, I am not a big fan, but it is such a main role and character in the universe. So hopefully they'll do it well.
We'll see.
I guess we'll see.
Ironheart. These are. I hope we're like rolling out with like things they said were happening but didn't show us a damn thing about, because there's like a lot of those. But then there are actual trailers they also released that we could be
Right.
like, oh, there's a thing I saw. But go ahead.
I think we could probably just quickly move past the next thing, which was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Not because we're not excited about it, just
No,
because
I'm
they
very
didn't
excited.
show anything.
No, and they showed
Yeah.
a trailer in the last
Right.
thing that we didn't get.
That's
and
true.
we thought like, hey, maybe
I
they'll
think
release the
it's the same thing
trailer
here.
today. No, okay. Armor Wars, same deal. They were like, we changed the logo.
Whoa,
Here it is,
that's
and it's
crazy.
still happening.
Yeah, that's something that we'll get there. But the Armor Wars is still happening, apparently.
Yeah, that's
Official
it.
Confirmation, which is
That's
great.
it. Just
anyway,
yeah,
the
which I'm
next
excited
thing,
for.
Which is the completely original thing that I didn't know anything about and was confused when I saw rumblings about it on Twitter. Werewolf by Night.
Yes,
That
Werewolf by
trailer looked
Night.
awful.
No, it looked
Haven't
awesome
seen
and
it.
it was incredible.
Okay.
I don't
No.
know if you're being sarcastic or
I am not being
Zach.
sarcastic. It is awesome. It is dope. It is clever. It's funny. It's cool. I am so on board. This
All
is
right.
a Werewolf by Night is a straight up 1970s meets the 1950s like monster movie meets exploitation grindhouse picture, and it's made by Disney, and it's like what? I'm here for it. What a great idea! No, the trailer gives away, like, it shows you so much, but like it what it does is it sets a tone. I'm also thrilled because it's not a show.
Yeah.
So it's a
The
movie show?
way that the trailer
It's a
was,
movie?
it definitely looked
Yeah.
like it would be bad
crazy.
in show format. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
As I understand it, also it's directed or created by the composer Michael Giacchino.
Yeah,
So
which
it's
is
like-
nuts.
What?
That's
And
awesome.
I don't remember. I saw him like tweet about it where he's like, "I'm so excited I get to like make a movie," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool."
So-
What?
They're describing it as a special, which I
Yeah.
imagine means it's not a show, but it's not going to theaters.
No,
It's a
no.
straight
It'll
to
be
Disney movie.
straight Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's like it's a Halloween event. It's going to be like
Yeah.
Okay.
like And I bet if it's a special, it's probably only going to be like an hour. Like it won't be like a hour 45, won't be 2 hours. It'll just be like the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which is also coming, which they showed us nothing for. I doubt will be like a full blown movie, but it will be like a TV movie kind of special, like He-Man and She-Ra's Christmas special, where it's just like, oh, it's an hour. Or Charlie Brown, I think, is an hour. It's like Werewolf by Night. Here's this thing. It might be 45 minutes, but I don't know. But I know it's at least done in one, which I'm like so grateful for, because it means they don't have to stretch it, because Disney's proven they can't. They can't stretch an idea. So it's like, just give them the time, make the thing. There's so many drops. I don't want to spoil too much, because like Dylan didn't want to get spoiled on it, but like there's a lot of like cameos and references, and we saw that we needed to drop this trailer because one of their park announcement things featured that character. It featured Werewolf by Night.
Oh,
like Werewolf by Night is in a menagerie of heroes jumping at Thanos, and I'm like,
absurd.
I'm like, what? You're gonna bring him over too?
I love that.
Sweet.
All
That's
right,
great.
then.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, Dan. I
couldn't
couldn't disagree more, man. I was
why
so
do you think
hyped.
it's so bad?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very stylized in a way that I'm not a big
It's not
fan
for
of.
you.
Like that's
fair.
just it. It does seem like one of those very stylized ones that if you're not into full black and white, over the top horror film that's kind of jokey at the same time, this doesn't look like one that might. It fits all of that, and that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
it's also black and white, which I'm like, is it? Like, is the trailer black and white, or is the special black and white? Because I'm surprised.
This says that it is. It appears to be a full-on classic black and white horror movie. So
I'm shocked Disney let them get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, WandaVision was allowed to do it for like an episode and a half. So
So they're like, well, that's the
2 or
length
3,
of the
actually.
show, so we're done.
Yeah, right.
You
Which,
may be black and white for
I'm
exactly
glad-
as long.
Yeah, I'm glad that people. This conversation was a whole thing back when Multiverse of Madness came out. Of like Marvel's finally letting directors do whatever they want. I don't know if it applies completely to Multiverse of Madness, but I think at the very least, if they're not letting directors do whatever they want, they're being more okay with trying new things. Like we just had whole conversation about She-Hulk and how it's a sitcom and is formatted very differently. Then now we've got, WandaVision, which was also formatted very differently, in this Werewolf by Night thing. So, I mean, that's cool. It's a breath of fresh air, I think. But for something that's probably going to be very bog standard MCU stuff, Secret Invasion. We got a trailer for it.
the Nick Fury movie.
Finally. Good. Yes. I'll take a Nick Fury movie. You kidding me? First of all, yay. Secondly, dope. And the trailer was tight. I'm like, and it's about Skrulls. The Skrulls are the aggressors. I'm like, okay.
Nice. So is I don't know how much, I haven't seen the trailer. Because the Captain Marvel sort of did like a heel turn on Skrulls, that they were actually the good guys.
This doesn't even reference that. It's just like, Skrulls, and they're messing around, and it's like...
So what I'm assuming is going to happen, and I don't know, maybe this is confirmed in the trailer or not, but like the Skrulls that did the Secret Invasion in the comics were already kind of a different group of Skrulls led by Varanki.
So like, it's complicated because like they weren't going to be... Like, the king of the Skrulls was not interested in Varanki's religious fundamentalism or like that plan. But they did extract the information about the heroes to be able to replicate their powers inevitably, which is something they couldn't do before. And when their planet was destroyed by Galactus, she was like, well, you're displaced and you need a leader, so here I am.
Right.
There's no way that this show on Disney Plus is going to be about, like, religious fundamentalism and how it takes hold of, like, fragile governments, which, like, wouldn't that be cool?
I think at the very least it could... they could take that idea of like, like this is these are like extremist Skrulls, which like,
they are.
There's a lot of that
everywhere,
in, like, in real world. So like, if you want to mirror stuff, then sure.
Right.
But I think that could be interesting. We have a lot of people returning in this. Sam Jackson, Don Cheadle, Ben Mendelsohn, Kobe Smulders are all coming back, which is super cool to me.
Bilbo's also in it.
Who?
Bilbo, whatever his name is.
Bilbo.
Martin Freeman.
Oh, Martin Freeman? I thought you were saying a Marvel character called Bilbo. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people are in this. This is the one that we were referencing earlier that apparently is a prequel to Armor Wars, or will tie into it in some way.
Yeah.
Which I imagine just means War Machine's in this.
Yeah,
so,
Don Cheadle's in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it'll go, like, he'll have an arc. You know, it'll be like whatever he goes through in Secret Invasion will go into Armor Wars.
Lead into Armor Wars. Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Like, again, like, I think I mean, I have at least clowned on the idea of having Secret Invasion be a 6-episode show instead of just like a movie.
It's outrageous.
But I'm excited either way. I would love to see more Nick Fury. I would like if S.H.I.E.L.D. becomes a thing at the end of this.
Me too.
That would be so cool.
Or Sword. I'd be down for Sword.
I think Sword is
either
inevitable.
way, have some kind of like not damage control force around.
They're in this. Like
Maybe-
they appear in this trailer. Yeah.
Maybe that's what the Armor Wars is. The armor team is going to be our shield or sword. You never know.
I very much predict that when this show is over, we will all talk about how badly this should have been a movie.
Oh yeah.
I thought it
Wouldn't
was
be
going to be a
surprised.
movie, to be honest. I
It should have
didn't
been.
realize it was a
Serious
Yeah, this
show.
is I think there's gonna be a time where like you remember in the comics when the Inhumans were like the big thing.
Yep.
And like a lot of people kind of had denial where it's like, oh, it's cool actually.
Yes.
right.
And now that we're past that and the X-Men are back, it's everyone's like, that was weird.
All of those stuff are
Yeah.
like that stuff is scrubbed from continuity,
Yeah.
or at the very least, like it's not referenced, and it's all those books are in like buck bins. Like
Yeah.
you can't like you could pick up the whole Inhuman saga for like $100, like 3 years worth of books for like $50.
I think this period of Marvel Studios making shows out of things that should have been movies is going to be looked back on like that.
Yeah, like Marvel's
Give it a
gonna
few
lament
years.
like, man, we should have made movies that would have made a lot
Yeah,
more
like
money.
that was a weird time. Remember when Secret Invasion was a TV show?
Yeah.
Huh?
Just the era. This is the era of the fan edit, where all of our shows will be 2-hour movies,
true.
and they'll be infinitely better. And then maybe that will be what Marvel does. They'll be like, we're just gonna get one of our people, and they'll just cut them all down, make them
Recut
into
it.
Disney Plus
Sure.
original
Right.
movies.
Pay me to do it. I'll do it.
Oh sure.
Anyway, next up, Loki season 2. They saw some stuff. We did not see some stuff.
Nope.
Still coming.
Yep. And Short Round's in it.
Who?
Don't even know who that is.
Okay. It's a character from Temple of Doom. He's the most beloved Indiana Jones character.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I did,
Never seen
yeah.
Indiana Jones.
I saw clips of yeah, okay.
I'm excited for Loki. It's a good show. I think it of any of the Marvel shows is one that's deserving of a second season.
I guess.
I think from what I've seen in She-Hulk, I would like a second season of that just because I feel like it deserves more episodes to really, do its thing.
do
But
anything. Yeah.
What do you think
also, I'd like more Miss Marvel, but we're getting a movie, so.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that this is going to be like actually relevant, or do we think that this season 2 might be more of a like actual just episodes?
Yeah, I
like
think
whereas
that's what
like
it's
the
gonna be.
first
Right.
one was like setting up Kang,
Setting up, like,
and like all
everything.
of that for everything else. Do we
Yeah.
think, because we've already set it up, and this
That's a
is
good
coming
question.
out before a lot of those things, so is it going to be more build up towards Kang? Is it going to be just a hey, Loki's now a TVA agent?
Yep.
Let's show just one-off episodes, kind of monster of the week, but instead it's timeline of
Multiverse,
the
yeah.
week kind of thing.
Absolutely. No, I mean, well, the fact that like everyone's complained about Multiverse of Madness, whether you loved it because oh my god, he had a cape of arms, was that we only spent like a second and a half in different multiverses, and the other multiverse we saw was like red lights are green, fart.
Right.
So maybe this will be their way of being like, oh, you want to see other like realities? Because like we could do that, like like in our sleep. So that'll be like the show. It's like every week it'll be like, oh, look at this crazy topsy turvy place.
Or,
Right.
What If exists.
Well,
with
yeah,
that.
but like, it's a cartoon.
Yeah,
and it
it's
was also
different.
like it was a proving ground for like spin-off shows. It's like, What If is just basically like, do you want to do a Marvel Zombies show? Because here it is.
Right.
That's what they did.
And now we're getting that. And also more What If eventually.
Yeah,
So-
and we'll get more What If eventually.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for Loki either way.
Yeah.
Like
No,
if
it's a good
just
show,
episodic or if it's like a, because
It's important.
Loki's in like a weird place because like this version of Loki is like so disconnected from like anything he originally is from.
My hope.
So, I don't know.
My hope is that like it brings him back. Like
Sure,
that it
like
that
back
it wraps
into
up
the fold.
and it like it just brings like it all wraps
Closes
up
the
and like
loop.
close the loop and Loki's now in the universe again.
Yeah,
So,
it
like,
does say that Thor will return at the end of Love and Thunder.
maybe in Loki. I mean, he did play Throg.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Did he play
That'll be
Throg?
fun.
He played the voice of Throg. Well, the grunts of Throg, where he's like,
The grunts of Thor. Great.
I would love to see Throg in something.
oh,
That'd be
I
fantastic.
think Throg's coming back.
I
a
hope
good
so.
bet.
What if we need a Pet Avengers What If episode? I think that
That'd
would
be good.
That would do
Yeah.
numbers. I would love that.
Yeah, it'd be a head scratcher.
Next up, Fantastic Four. The only thing it says here is that Matt Shackman is officially taking over from John Watts for
Which we knew.
as director.
Yep.
That's it.
What a fart.
Moving on. Echo. They showed a scene of Echo and Kingpin. Cool.
Yep. We didn't see it, so there you have it.
Nope.
But
That's still coming.
but they did. But unsurprisingly, they didn't kill Kingpin off. Like,
No.
Yep.
Oh man,
They would never do that.
I never saw that coming.
Nope. But he will have a stupid-looking eye patch, so at least
Yeah,
he'll
probably
have
for
that.
like an episode.
I hope it's only for the Echo show. Like, don't bog
Yeah.
down Daredevil with your Echo nonsense.
Right.
Speaking of which, Daredevil Born Again.
Everything we
They
already knew.
showed a scene of him and She-Hulk, which has been making the rounds on Twitter.
Well, there's a scene, or at least a trailer for the next episode of She-Hulk or whatever, and they showed him in that.
Yeah, it's like that's right. It's like a mid-season trailer, probably because the show isn't doing too well to get people in to watch it.
Well, when we told you it was coming, we put Daredevil in the trailer, and then it's been 5 episodes, and
And
there's
then nobody
no
watched it.
Daredevil, and no one's watching it. Yeah. I'm sure people are
I mean,
watching it.
I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen the numbers on She-Hulk, but
No, all we
usually
do- all
whenever
we
I
see
see
is
a
the negativity.
mid-season trailer, that's kind of why.
Yeah. Like, quick, cut together a trailer. Because why? Why would you make a trailer for
Daredevil.
the rest of your show?
Yeah, the
Like-
remaining 5 episodes of your
Yeah.
show. When it's a 9 episodes season. Here's some actual new information. Captain America: New World Order will have the leader in it.
That was interesting. And by
Yeah.
interesting, I
Cool.
mean another head scratcher.
Weird place to put him.
You know why the leader's in it? Well, it was like they had multiple announcements in that Captain America New World Order. First of all, they showed like the logo, which like who cares? But like, hey, look at that. Secondly, they were like the leaders in it, which is their third announcement, which is we didn't make a deal with Universal. There is no plan for another
No.
Hulk solo movie. Like,
Right.
leader is going to be we're just going to keep just mining pieces of that movie for other movies. Like,
Yeah.
leader will be in it. Maybe one day Betty Ross will come back, but otherwise we did not make a deal with Universal. Like, do not expect World War Hulk or anything. That's not happening.
Right. Which is a shame.
Yeah, it is
I
a
think
shame.
whatever they're
shame.
gonna do with that thing in She-Hulk with the Hulk is gonna prove like whether or not. Because
Oh, yeah.
if they just shove that into another person's movie, that plot line, just like they did with Age of Ultron when he actually did kind of the same thing, just went into space.
It's funny how much they like to do that with characters they don't have plans to use or do have plans to
throw them
use
in
later.
space.
Just put them in space and then don't address
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's so
Yeah.
vast,
Exactly.
It's like when in like comic books or manga where they're like, all right, we need to take a hiatus. Just put them on a boat. They go sailing and we'll just have them come back eventually. Because I'm sure not many people remember, but in DC, Damage is still technically out on a boat right now. They
That's
never
awesome.
closed anything off. They were just had him leave on a boat.
Good.
So,
enjoy your boat ride. But yeah, leader. And they brought back that actor.
yeah.
That's
Tim Blake
fun.
Nelson.
He's
which is
good.
Cool. He was good in that.
Yeah.
There's also Joaquin Torres and Isaiah Bradley are coming back. I don't remember Joaquin Torres being in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Me either. But I'm glad
Apparently
Isaiah Bradley's
he
coming back.
was. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, he was. He was in like the first episode as like the soldier guy who was talking to Falcon.
Oh, I know that
was in
guy.
that.
He's great. Yeah.
Okay. I need to rewatch that show. We also have confirmation that Shira Haas is playing Israeli superhero Sabra.
What? I'm not
I've
here
never
about
heard
that.
of Sabra. I've never heard of
it's
that
just
character.
Who is Sabra?
Nobody, but she is. She's exactly as you described her. I remember her from Marvel Contest of Champions.
Okay.
right.
She seems like a character that would be in that.
Yeah.
I know
Ruth,
some
she's
people
great.
are concerned because the movie is called The New World Order, and you're putting an Israeli superheroine in there. So
I'm sure she
hopefully
won't
they
be.
know what they're doing.
I think they
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
coincidence, but hopefully it's not the bad version of that.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad versions of things, Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're getting
yeah.
a sequel to Falcon and Winter Soldier and Black Widow, as well as Ghost.
Yeah, so we're
Ghost
getting
is there for some
like-
reason.
Now, is this the last thing? Because this is the one thing we're going to talk about the most. But screw it, we'll talk about it anyway.
Yeah, the Marvels is after this, but they didn't show anything. So let's just
yeah.
talk about the Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts.
For a minute.
I love how mad everybody is about this because, like people are really
people upset?
mad. People are
I'm
really
excited.
mad, like they read the
Okay.
Thunderbolts, and I'm like, you're a
Oh.
liar.
Like, no one read the Thunder.
Like the only thing people are mad about, like the thing that I'm hearing the most is like the fact that you didn't put Baron Zemo on this team is like just the most offensive
yeah.
and like inexplicable thing.
Yeah,
in the
that's
world.
the one where I'm like, that's weird.
That would have fit better than Ghost.
He'll be in it. There's no friggin' way they're not going to put Baron Zemo in this.
That's
Like,
so.
Yeah.
One thing I have seen going around is that the team that they showed concept art with Red Guardian, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, Yelena Belova, Ghost, U.S. Agent, Taskmaster, and the Winter Soldier.
yeah.
And the sort of theory that I've seen going around, which I kind of am down for, is like that's the good guys,
Right.
And there's some bad guys in there that are like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Baron Zemo, Abomination, Leader,
Mm-hmm.
like some bad guys that are like actually like not redeemable,
Right,
Because all
right.
of these characters in their movies, with maybe the exception of U.S. Agent, are like
Yeah.
pretty redeemable characters.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
it's Redemption Arc the movie.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically
right.
what this is going to be.
Yeah.
And Winter
no.
Soldier's on it. And when Winter Soldier was on the Thunderbolts in the comics, they were good guys, pretty much.
Right.
They were just
Well,
the Suicide
it's
Squad,
weird.
like, straight up.
It's weird that you're like, okay, let's put we just had Winter Soldier go through an entire TV show arc
Yeah.
where he's redeemed. Why isn't Hawkeye on this team? If you don't know what to do
Yeah.
with him, he's actually on the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, right now he's leading them.
But he's been on the Thunderbolts before. But yeah, this is funny. But people are really mad, and I'm like, really? You care? Because I don't. It looks fun. Like I'm excited to
Yeah.
see John Walker finally
That's what I'm
interacting with the
excited
Marvel
about.
Universe. David Harbour is a treasure.
Totally.
Thanks to the Hawkeye show, I love Yelena. Like I didn't really love her in the movie, but I love her in
Yeah, she's
Hawkeye.
great.
So I'm like, oh okay.
Florence Pugh, also a treasure.
Exactly, but Ghost and Taskmaster couldn't care less, and I have no
like
interest or
Ghost.
sympathy for them. I think she was awful. Like not like
Really?
because of anything. Like I'm not like mad they like 'cause no one.
Yeah, nobody
no
cares
one had
about Ghost.
any
No.
right to complain about the Ghost recasting. Right? They were like,
Yeah.
what? It's sacrilege. Oh, another gender bent. I'm like, you don't name the Ghost's real identity.
Yeah.
Right.
Name
think,
one book you liked the Ghost in. You know, like
Honestly,
That's the
yeah,
thing
Ghost
about
was
Ghost
so
is,
forgettable.
Yeah.
Personally.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
Like
but the
it-
actor
it's-
who
I get
plays
it
her,
because like I think it's the same argument could be made against Taskmaster and Black Widow, where it's like, oh well, why even use that name and that
Right.
costume if you're going to do a completely different thing? But
yeah.
like Ghost is interesting, and I think he's in the comics, he's visually cool. Like
Right.
it's fun to see him mess with other characters.
Totally.
But I don't know how far you can go with that in the MCU, and what they did, I think, is fun. So
But my point being, like, Zemo could be either Taskmaster or Ghost.
oh, okay.
Like, if we could pull a Citizen V
Interesting.
thing, or
Yeah.
more like he'll be the point man. He'll be like it'll be revealed
He'll
that he's
be
in
M.
charge. Like he's in charge of like their task
He'll
force.
be
Like
M. That's
yeah.
sick. I think
the
that's
man
Val.
behind
I
the
think
computer.
that's supposed to be Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, but like
maybe
she's gonna yeah. But I'm excited for this. I think it looks fun. Based on only
Same.
drawings of these actors.
right.
Right. I think that's I think the main takeaway here is we know a lot less than we think we do about this
Big
movie.
time. Yeah.
And I'm just excited for it. just on the grounds that, like, you know, it's something that they have been setting up in the background for a while, and now it's being delivered on in a way that, like, it was not totally expected. Because, you know, and there's so many ways they can go with it. Like, who knows what the plot is going to be.
Right. But it is like five identical. It is five identical action figures who can all do the same thing, and one person who can phase. Like, that's it. Like, it is. It is a thoroughly uninteresting power dynamic on this team.
Feels like one of those movies where it's almost like they're trying to go, hey, we've got Ghost and some of these other ones and like Taskmaster where people aren't super fans, but we know they were a fan of Red Guardian and Winter Soldier. Let's try and merge them together and kind of leech off of that popularity, make them more popular for that. And now you've got more viable characters in the universe that you can kind of sprinkle around. Because that's kind of the nice thing about a lot of these is they have some reasons to be in different films. So if you can set it up to make people go, oh yeah, Ghost is apparently I'm a fan of Ghost now.
Right.
Like, you can go, hey, we're going to put her in this or put her in that.
If they give Ghost or Taskmaster more than 3 lines, like, maybe people will like what they have to say. You know, like, if they're given something to do and say, and if those things are cool and fun, then you're good. Then you can go off to the races. But, like, you can't cram Taskmaster or Ghost or Red Guardian onto an Avengers team. So what do you do with them? And it's like, you still want to use them. I mean, I would have made Ghost and Taskmaster villains because that's who they are. But it's, you know, let's make them a Thunderbolt and see what happens there. Because anyway, the whole thing is that it's a twist. It could be a fun twist where, like, where Bucky is the only one who doesn't know that this whole thing is actually like a scam and they're all villains. And he's like, wait, what? We're not like, I'm not helping you guys redeem yourselves. They're like, no, man. This is a heist movie. We're stealing money.
Handler. That's it.
Like, no, there's no Avengers to stop us. Who is it, Spider-Man? Suspiciously, I find that he's not in any of our adventures, so I think we're going to be okay.
Somehow I feel like he won't show up.
Yeah, I got a good feeling that he's not going to be here, so we're fine. We're literally fine, because there's nobody else here that has powers.
Right.
Anyway, Thunderbolts.
Cool. Yeah, Yay. Thunderbolts. Yeah. Any last words on the Marvel announcements at D23? I feel like we... Good on that.
Oh, no.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, just the fact that it's like let's have our thoughts. This sucked.
For D23.
Like, this was really lame.
It's pretty
thing.
Dry.
And it was like, now that we have the full picture of, like, San Diego, like, Marvel's coming back to San Diego, baby. Here's nothing. And then they were like, well, wait for D23 where we're gonna have a little something, and you're like, wow, you have nothing. Like, you have a timeline. Like, you showed us a graphic, and I guarantee you more people were hyped about the effing timeline they showed.
Oh yeah,
than any scrap of footage they showed to anyone about anything. And it's like,
I think
that's a damn shame.
Yeah, this is for sure just them sort of treading water right now. I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we know.
I'm like, why? You know, because you're right, Dylan. Like, they are good. There's definitely something going on behind the scenes, and I'm kind of like,
shakeups.
How could you be like this shaky at this point? Like, you had an entire
Phase 4, baby.
You had an entire lockdown to get your house in order and get your ducks in a row and then have your plan. You rolled out with an entire $1 trillion streaming service that shook up the entire method by which you distribute this stuff, and you screwed up all of it in some like way where, like, everyone's like, we got to get a Feige, and I'm like, do ya? Because, like, apparently it'll only last you 10 years, which, by the way, is really impressive, and we're all very
That's
happy
a pretty long
like,
time.
I'm not really complaining about it. I'm just more like, it's like, we expect you guys to know what you're doing and to have your ducks in a row and to have each kind of announcement be exciting. And I don't know if it's like because the bubble has burst, or if the Endgame hype train has come to the station and so we're done, or if it's just that, like, they legitimately gave us disappointing announcements. But, like, nothing here is like is blowing smoke up my skirt here, gentlemen. I don't know about you. It just feels kind of like I think
I'm personally at the stage where, like, I've been this way for a while, I think, where it's just like I have a hard time getting excited about like stuff that's in the far future.
Well, that's just being older.
And well, that and, like, you know, COVID is a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I get jazzed when I'm on the way to see something. Like
Right.
if I'm, and I don't watch trailers, so obviously it's a byproduct of that, among other
Right.
things. But like when D23 comes around, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, things are still happening.
Yeah.
But I think it would be hard pressed for anything to make me go like, oh my god.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It
we'll
was-
see.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype potential around this that they did not really deliver on, and kind of
Sure.
underhyped, if anything. Like it was cool going, oh my gosh, that's the Thunderbolts team. All right, cool.
Yeah, it was like, oh, look at that.
That was it.
Like, there was a moment where I'm like, oh, look at that. And like seeing the Thunderbolts together, I was like, well, that resembles what I what I remember Marvel announcements being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they even had
I
the
think that's
actors
when
come out on stage. It was like, oh.
When I saw that on Twitter, I was like, okay, cool. And then I closed
Immediately
Twitter.
moved
and it's
on.
like, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be really excited when the movie comes out and I get to
Yeah.
talk about it, and hopefully it's good.
Right.
But I'm not going to get super excited about a piece of concept art. So
Oh, no.
We'll see.
That's the worst, is that it's a drawing. I'm like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like when they showed us,
Far
like,
out.
when they were showing the parks and they were like, look at this thing we'll build one day. I'm like, how could anyone care?
Right.
Yeah. Look at
It's
King
like until
Thanos
you build it,
concept
it's
art.
not that.
Yeah. That's like getting really hyped when you're James Bond seeing Goldfinger's like model of like his doomsday plan. Like, this is a model. That's not a plan. That's
Right.
really
You
a
haven't done
concept.
anything yet.
You haven't done anything except like hire some small firm to make you a model. That's not anything.
Right.
Anyway. Fart.
Cool. Well, this has been Absolutely Marvel in DC. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about the Star Wars stuff next. So if you're watching this on the day it comes out, wait a day. Then you can see that. Otherwise, that's it. I'm Dylan. That's Sal. That's Dan. Catch y'all next time for some more stuff.